For most of my career, I thought becoming a strategist meant waiting for more experience, waiting for more years of work under my belt, waiting until I was better educated, waiting for permission, waiting for someone to finally see me as more than just a logistics planner and see me as the creative and thoughtful genius that I truly am. What I learned the hard way is that strategy is not something you're handed. It's something you demonstrate. Waiting for someone to recognize you is like winking at someone in the dark. It doesn't work. And one of the clearest ways to be seen is by using your voice. Not loudly, not aggressively, but strategically. One of my biggest career shifts over the years happened when I stopped executing what I was given and started presenting ideas rooted in audience understanding. In marketing, this is not new. Being able to define and understand the client or company's target audience is step one. For decades, the most effective campaigns have been built around clearly defined audiences, personas, segmentation, targeting, specificity. Events have lagged behind. And even though they are still one of the most effective ways to influence your audience, too many events are still designed for everyone, which usually means they are emotionally flat, difficult to measure, and hard to justify when leadership asks what the event actually accomplished. When you introduce the concept of a micro-niche event idea, you're doing something very different. You're saying, I know who this is for. I know exactly what they care about. I know what we want to change. And I know how we will measure whether or not this worked. That right there is strategist language. And let me be very clear about something. Sticking up for yourself as a strategist does not mean challenging authority. It means reframing the conversation. When you bring a micro-niche idea to leadership or to a client, you're not just pitching an event, you're showing how you think. You are connecting audience with purpose, with emotion, with outcome. And that changes how people listen to you. And I experienced this firsthand. The moment I stopped being the person who waited for instructions and became the person who presented thoughtful, audience-driven ideas was the moment my role changed, even before my title did. That is the power of using your voice strategically. If you're watching this and thinking, but what if they don't like my idea? Or what if I overstep? You're not alone. Most event professionals are trained to execute, not to lead conversations. But here's the truth. Leadership does not expect perfection. They respect clear ideas. When you come prepared with a clear audience, a defined purpose, and a way to measure success, you're not overstepping. You're doing the job of a strategist. And yes, sometimes ideas get taken from you and used. Sometimes credit gets blurred, but visibility comes from consistency, not control. People will remember how you think. So start using your voice as a strategist. How do you do that, you ask? This does not require a massive career leap. You can start small. Instead of asking, what do you want to do for the event? Ask questions like, who are we trying to impact most? Instead of saying, here are some theme ideas. Say, here's a targeted experience designed for this specific audience. Instead of reporting attendance afterward, define success before the event ever happens. These are very small shifts, but they signal completely different level of thinking. Micro-niche events are not just a tactic, they are a strategic behavior. They show that the audience understands strategy. They make measurements easier, and they give you a reason to speak up with confidence. Using your voice this way is how you stop being seen as an order taker, and you start being seen as a strategic partner. Not because you asked for it, because you earned it. So do the research on your audience. Who are they? What do they desire? How can you make them feel a certain way during a smaller event? If you're ready to think about events this way, to design with purpose, with emotion, and measurable outcomes, this is the work we do inside the Education Institute. And if you are just sitting there knowing you're capable of more than logistics, I want you to hear this very clearly. You don't need permission to think strategically. You need clarity, confidence, and the courage to use your voice. This is how careers change. If this resonates at all with you, I have 3 resources for you. First, sign up for my Tuesday Edge. It's It's my weekly newsletter where I break down event strategy, experiential marketing, and career growth for event professionals. Second, I have a free guide, Why Great Events Still Fail to Prove ROI. It walks you through how well-produced events actually show business impact, and you can start thinking differently on how to measure them. And third, the Education Institute, where I teach how to design with purpose, emotion, and measurable outcomes. I help event professionals move from planner to strategist. I am so glad you're here, and I'm excited to keep this conversation going.